Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone else, greetings. Welcome to what I believe, unless I'm mistaken, is the 11th session of The Lost Island. I've been having a lot of fun with this, and technically we actually have something of a special episode today, as it was only a few days ago that Josh Scorcher had his, I believe, 29th birthday?
Indeed.
Yes. He is now almost
There was a little bit of... There was a little bit of a confusion as to what Joshua's actual age was, but either way, a hearty congratulations and happy birthday to one of my best friends, and I'm certainly hoping that this will be a fun session for him.
All right.
Yay!
Thank you.
So, beginning the recap. The last session of The Lost Island was one of intrigue and discovery. After the gruesome execution of Lord Katir at the hands of Saber, Korim was nearly placed under arrest, but some careful diplomacy allowed him to convince the guards of his innocence, and a swift follow-up later confirmed it. However, this death has put the Golden Lions in a precarious position. Lord Merrick has taken temporary command of them, and has sent a letter to King Horus asking him for further instructions on what to do next. Meanwhile, Kun and Whisper tracked the scent from the pit to a hospital where they found that mysterious masked individuals called Collectors, claiming to be working for Lady Flemeth, had been taking people from the hospital and, it is believed, potentially using them as their experiments. Meanwhile, Korim and Klaus's mother has had the idea to use herself as bait in order to lure in Saber, and a discussion is followed in how exactly one should set this trap, and indeed the bait itself. But the most startling revelation of all came at the end, when a disheveled, yet excited soldier came through the door and declared that the Black Hawks had slain the monster in the cave. We begin only a few minutes after that revelation, as things have finally calmed down. You are in the meeting room with the Council of the Ancient, well, I suppose it would be 11 now, thanks to Katir's untimely, or very timely, depending on your opinions, demise. What do you all do?
I am gonna wait until everyone else is gone because I need to catch certain someone alone.
Outside of my field of expertise.
Indeed. Well,
I have mixed feelings, but since I can't do much, I will just sort of sit back and listen. But I do feel not necessarily a perverse sense of relief, but at least a sense of relief because I remember how painful that was.
Indeed. I believe we should send an despite the situation, it might be best to send an emissary to the Black Hawks. Arrange for one of them to come over to speak to us. If they indeed slayed a creature of such power, it would be wise to know how. Especially given the reports from, and he looks at Korim, your companion, that there may be more of them.
Slew.
I beg your pardon?
You said slayed. It's pronounced slew.
Kun slaps
He's
him on the
being
back of the head.
pedantic.
Yes, my apologies, it has been...
Kun just slaps him on the back of the head.
Yeah, I heard that laugh
Either way,
from
the
here,
creature has been
actually.
slain. Yeah, either way, the creature has been slain. Let us just leave it at that.
Though I must say, and this is Zaratharian, not like you to get a word like that mistaken, Lord Merrick. It's been a long day, I apologize. Speaking of which, for more immediate concerns, I have a letter from Horus. He has ordered given the seriousness of the attack, that all soldiers of the Golden Lions be withdrawn to the city to put it under maximum security. Is that really the best idea? Lady Clearso speaks up. We believe
You
being
want
the
to
people
you want to
outside the
oppose
city
Horace? Be
unguarded.
my guest.
I'm not going to oppose Horace, Clearso says, but I think I should. I'll arrange matters so that I can spend some time outside the city myself. Lord Katir was... I didn't think anyone needs to be told how much of an idiot he was, but he did have a point. We don't want to leave everyone outside the borders of Dagura unguarded. Even if I don't think this is some plot from the Reds, there are still dangers on the island that they deserve our protection from.
At the very least, ensuring that the garrisons in and around the villages and townships remain there, not just for their own security with regards to the Red Tigers, but withdrawing all of our troops into the city would leave Mia and those that actually still serve him to do as they wish to the people beyond the borders of the city. The garrisons at least would need to remain where they are. We can still withdraw the majority of our military, but to leave the people undefended?
Especially against Mir.
Lady... And Zirith nods. While I do agree that the priority is to capture Mir within this city before he does any further harm, you two are correct. We do need to make sure we don't leave our people completely defenseless. Well then, Lord Manic says, I'll be sure to note your complaints to Lord Horace. If he agrees that we should leave a few garrisons to defend those outside the city, I am sure he will confirm that that is his order. In the meantime, we will proceed as our king has ordered. Do not wish to make the same foolish mistake that our former compatriot made. Speaking of which, I have made sure that...
Well, as long as you don't attack Korim, I think you'll be fine there.
Indeed. Speaking of which, I have made sure to send men to place Lord Katir's family under arrest in case they are involved with his plot.
Vell actually seems a little bothered by that. But since
Does she
she's...
say so out loud, or...?
Korim, you feel sort of a ripple of... basically. And, you can sense displeasure, but she, for once, is actually keeping her mouth shut.
Korim actually responds to that sense from Vell mentally going, honestly, I have my own reservations with regards to the cover story that Merrick has created and the necessity of putting Katir's family under house arrest. For those that knew Katir, they will not buy that he was a traitor to the Lions.
I also
And his family... Yep, I trailed off with his family part.
I don't think it fair for innocents to pay the price of one man's foolishness. It's sort of akin to my distaste for active possession. An innocent party should not be forced to act against their will. In this case, they would be forcefully arrested for something they may not have even had a knowledge of. But I am but a trespasser here, so I have little say in the matter.
On the subject of King Mir, Lord Cirrus says, I want to look into that pit some more. I'm sorry, Lady Flynn says, pit? Yes. Do you have time to read the report I sent in? Unfortunately, no. This has been rather early in the morning. Lord Sithrith then steps forward so we can be heard by everyone. In our investigations of King Mir, we found a gruesome sight. And he describes the pit and the horrors you saw within. Lady Flemeth and Lady Clearsoul both look pale. There is an interesting look on Lord Merrick's face. And your mother looks like she's about to murder someone.
That's her mom. I'm saying
So
that
her
out of
normal
character.
I figured. It looked like the pit of tunnels leading to different areas, likely where the poor victims were being ferried in and out. I believe if we could use a map of the city, we may be able to trace the tunnels to those locations. It might help us to catch Mir if he is in any way involved in this.
I'm suddenly
Yes.
wishing that we had tracking magic.
Wait a minute. Son.
Why do we need tracking magic when we have clue?
No, the reason for wishing that we had tracking magic is so that we could actually have people going down and exploring where those other caves lead to, and people above ground tracking them to be able to actually map where those cave systems are going and where they are.
That's actually not a bad idea. Yes, indeed. Lord Merrick says, Lord Sirith, why didn't you consider that before? The only potential concern would be the fact that it looks like the tunnels had been collapsed, likely to prevent exactly this. Though if you have a way around that little conundrum, you've been providing an excellent idea already.
Aside from either digging out the blockages or magic that can be used to shore up the caves to prevent another collapse and basically reopen them. Just digging out the entrance would take a while.
Indeed. Unfortunately, there are a few mages who possess the level of power that, for example, you do. We could gather a large contingent of them, but such a large contingent could make them a prime target for King Mir, Lady Flemeth says. It's a sound idea, but you two may wish to spend some time workshopping it. Indeed.
Careful
In either
question. I'm sorry.
Yes?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I noticed that Flemeth calls him King Mir. Does anyone else call him King Mir? Or just Mir?
There is something that, Here's the thing. This is where I have to ask you out of character and in character. Out of character, I can ask you guys a question. Have I been having anyone else call him King Mir? Or is this the first time? Because I couldn't remember myself.
I swear if she works with King Mir.
I know! That's why I'm asking! It's like Snape calling him the Dark Lord, you know? Whereas everyone just calls him, he must not be named or something.
Yes,
That's why
have
I'm
I had
asking.
anyone call him? Yeah, I'm actually trying to ask because I can't remember. I'm trying to keep my continuity straight because here's the thing. That was not intentional out of character, but I'm trying to think if it would actually make sense. Not necessarily for the reasons you are thinking, but it still makes sense. Have I had Lord Merrick refer to him as King Mir? Have I had... Do you guys remember if Merrick has referred to him as King Mir?
I don't personally recall. I remember actually people mocking him being the king before, but I could also be wrong, and I could just be remembering things how I want to remember them.
I remember you guys mocking him for that.
We're all mocking him.
Indeed. Okay, so because that's actually kind of an interesting little character thing that Ari's point out, I'm going to say that yes, she and Lady Clearstone have so far been the only ones referring to him as... She, Clearstone, and Sirith have been the only ones referring to him as King Mir so far, while Sarah, Lord Merrick, and Lord Katir were simply calling him Mir up until this point. Even now, still calling him Mir. If I had one of them referred to him as King Mir before, please treat that as an accidental slip of the tongue on my part.
Alright.
Vell sort of nudges Korim in his head, and she's like, watch them. Also, are they in the chambers in Horus's palace?
They are in the palace, yes, but they're not in Horus's bedchambers. As mentioned prior, Horus...
I just wanted to know.
Yeah,
I just wanted to know if they were in the palace.
They're in Indeed, they are in the palace. Yes.
Perfect. At that realization, she's gonna go horse hunting. Just to make sure he's safe.
Okay.
So she's gonna go object/wall hunting to check on him, while the rest of y'all deal with the
she's going to basically bounce.
Yep,
Indeed.
I'm going leapfrogging. Toodles.
Yep. We'll get back to you in a bit.
Quiet. We're hunting horses.
We will get to what Ari's doing in a bit, because I
love you,
want
Dogi.
to,
I love you so much.
Anyway, like I said, we'll get to Ari's in a bit, because there is something that Claus has been waiting to do that I do not want to delay much longer. Therefore, very well, it seems that everyone has something they wish to be doing. I believe it is time to call this meeting adjourned. And with that, everyone begins either staying to gather things or making their way out of the room. And Claus, there is something that you had been wishing to do, so Doge, please take it away.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait until I see this certain specific person be a little bit separate from everyone else before I approach. But I'm looking.
And which person would that be?
Rabbits, I forgot how to pronounce his name!
Him?
Sirith
Sorry,
or
it's
something?
Sirith, right?
Sir, there! I'm sorry, but
Okay.
there's so many
Oh, yes.
names! There's so many names and none of them are on the screen!
My apologies. Wait, Sirith does indeed separate from the pack.
Right, Claus is gonna take one look at Korim, give him a small nod, and then power walls towards Sereth. It's like,
He's of two minds. So on one hand, he thinks you should follow him, but he's also getting this very, very strong aura that he doesn't want to be followed.
he can follow if he wants to. But Claus was more like okay, watch me! I'm trying to be brave!
So he's going to follow at a distance, but he's going to keep his distance. Because he could tell that he's trying to do something, so he's just gonna try and defend him, but be out of the way.
Yes.